Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme. And this evening we find ourselves on a very busy NEWTOWNARDS road. And the reason why we're here is because I want to show you this memorial here to the Titanic. As you can see, it says Ship of Dreams. And it's got the 1912. It's got the captain. It's got Thomas Andrews. Built in Belfast, Titanic. That's the SOS man. And that's the newspaper boy. So it's pretty well done. So I'm going to read a wee bit of information out to you here. See there, it says Titanic. So this will, oh, there's somebody barking. So this will explain a lot of this to us. It says Ship of Dreams. The Titanic was a ship of dreams. Its reality and design began in the mind dream of one man. Thousands of others helped create and rivet metal into myth. This artwork celebrates the reality of dreams caught forever within one single voyage. So the first one then is Thomas Andrews, as you can see, and it says Harland and Wolff's chief designer. He had a key role in the design and building of the Titanic. At sea, Andrews had spent most of the journey making notes and assisting the crew with minor difficulties as they got to know the ship. After the collision, Andrews broke the news to Captain Smith that in view of the damage the ship had suffered, he did not expect her to stay afloat more than 2 hours. During the liner's final hours, Andrews wandered the decks, encouraging passengers to wear their life belts and to make their way to the boats. He was last seen staring into space by the painting in the first class smoking room, his life belt discarded, and he probably blamed himself, I would assume. So that's Thomas Andrews there. Of course, his brother John was a politician. He was actually the Prime Minister of Northern Ireland. He was the second Prime Minister of Northern Ireland for 3 years, 1940, 1943. And his brother's buried up in Cumber in the non-subscribing Presbyterian Church, and Thomas is mentioned on the memorial. And then we have Captain Edward Smith. Captain Edward Smith was Commodore of the White Star Line. He took command of the Titanic on the 10th of April 1912. He was 62 years old and was one of the world's most experienced sea captains. When the Titanic hit ice, she was unprepared for such an event, did not have enough lifeboats to carry all her passengers to safety. Captain Smith tried to manage the situation as best he could, helping with the lifeboats and the transmission of distress calls. He was last seen in the bridge minutes before the final sinking. And so that's him there. That's the captain, Captain Smith. And then there was John George, or Jack Phillips, Senior Wireless Operator SOS. Jack Phillips was turning in for a long-awaited rest when the collision came about. He was just about to go to sleep when Captain Smith arrived in the wireless cabin. Smith issued the order to send for help as the Titanic was sinking. Jack worked tirelessly to send wireless messages to other ships to enlist their assistance with the rescue of the Titanic's passengers and crew. And so that's Jack there, as you can see. SOS. And then this is the paper boy, Ned Parfitt, newsboy. Perhaps one of the most evocative images connected to the Titanic disaster is that of the young newsboy outside the White Star Line offices at Oceanic House, holding a news poster announcing Titanic disaster, great loss of life. And so that's him there. And as you can see, it says Titanic disaster, great loss of life, evening telly, 15th of April 1912. Very sad reading that evening, of course, with the sinking of the Titanic. And then we have here the White Star Line, 1912. White Star was formed in Liverpool in 1869. The company had a long and close business relationship with Harland and Wolff. And that's it there, 1912. And then this one is built in Belfast, Titanic. Titanic and our berth in Belfast, the most famous ship in history. Belfast's shipbuilding industry was in its prime by the late 19th century. At this time, Harland and Wolff had a workforce of 15,000, of which over 3,000 were employed in the construction of the Titanic, which took 3 years to build and fit out. 3 million rivets were used in the hull, the largest ship in the world. And that's her there, Titanic, built in Belfast. And then the middle one, Titanic leaving Belfast, 2nd of April 1912. The Titanic surpassed all her rivals in luxury and opulence, weighing 46,328 tons, measuring 268 metres in length. Her 4 huge funnels tower more than 80 feet above the boat deck. I'll read that again. Her 4 huge funnels tower more than 80 feet above the boat deck. Total capacity 3,547 passengers and crew. And so that's the ship there. That's a good image of the ship, isn't it? Fantastic. And then the last one is Titanic, the last coordinates. When the fatal condition of the ship was realised, Captain Smith ordered wireless messages to be sent out to all steamships within reach. At 12:15 AM on the 15th of April, the first distress signal, CQD I think that is, was transmitted by Titanic, soon followed by the now familiar SOS. They continued until 17 minutes past 2 AM when Titanic's signals abruptly ended. Titanic sunk at 2:30 AM on the 15th of April 1912 on her maiden voyage. Her last known coordinates were 41 degrees 46 N, Nordic miles I think that is, and 50 degrees 14. Maybe it's north and west, I'm not sure. You'll easily know I'm not a sailor. So that's that one there then, at the far side. And then the wee caption underneath says, there was a total of 2,223 people on board, 1,517 perished, leaving only 706 survivors. Their memory is honoured. So there you go. So I'll give you another wee view of the entire memorial, and then we'll wrap this wee video up. Ship of Dreams. And I had a bit of competition in trying to record this evening because I had a dog barking at me and then I had the church bells going off as well. But we got through it nonetheless. Thanks for watching and God bless.